in the sky, gazing far.
Es ist eine Frage der Zeit, bis sie Chancen kreieren und so bleibst du bei dir.
Gehört dann natürlich auch Glück dazu, wenn du auf diese Art und Weise den Bayern beikommen möchtest.
Favourite.
Yeah, not really surprising.
Diaz. Oh, and early in it goes. Well, it's either Fischer or it's ᴜᴜɪ�, and either way, Bayern lead. Not much of a celebration for ᴜᴜɪ�, but on his 50th Bundesliga appearance, he's played a big part in Bayern taking an early lead. Kilian Fischer trying to stop him. And Vincent Kompany's 2026 off to a flying start.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate.
Again, he's hugely influential.
Actually, it's a high risk that Bayern is taking there in rest defense, and Upamecano sometimes be.
Oh, he's floated that brilliantly, and Diaz! The flag has stayed down, but the ball has gone wide. Wolfsburg look at the assistant, who doesn't oblige. And that really easily could have been two inside 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe should have been. I mean, that first touch is actually quite good.
With space on that left-hand side. Although they have given it to move out of trouble, and Pecinovic is in. Zidane Pecinovic! What a brilliantly taken goal from a man banging form. The former Bayern youngster out of nothing. Hugely important.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And even though it was a shorter than usual winter break with only 19 days with no football, good phase now of Wolfsburg. Not just defensive, but also off.
Knows exactly what to do. There is ᴜᴜ. Looking for Kane, the knockdown from Luis Diaz, waiting and now engaging, and it is a visiting head that gets there. But this is also Luis Diaz who can twist and turn and flick Mayer. Pavlovic a little too long. The ever-willing Luis Diaz can retrieve. Tar.
Bayern Munich.
That's a little slower for Bayern than in many a game. And on the average, is Diaz. Managed to progress and find himself at the far post. That's where the ball's aimed, but it's beaten by Diaz. Luis Diaz gets there at the far post, and Bayern have their lead back. Well, we talked about it being difficult to find space. Unfortunately, Wolfsburg do it all over again. Having been in one of the best spells so far, really. Half an hour in. Busy. There's a little slip there from Wimmer, and that lets Bayern in. And there's space here for Diaz, and that's one thing he can exploit really well. Luis Diaz, of that in the training camp. Diaz trying to get away from Koulirakis. All he does, and in the end, Kumbedi had come back into the middle, just did enough, and kept his feet well enough. It doesn't seem easy. Karl, it's touch and go. Leonard Karl on the left, into the chest of Grabara, and Diaz over. Stanisic sends it out to Diaz, who's gone early, and Olise was waiting.
More in before half-time. Calm down the situation a little bit.
Luis Diaz away from Kumbedi. Diaz towards goal, picking the ball up, just nipping it round the corner. Again, high risk. They've got away with it so far. Diaz expertly brings it down out of the skin spread. ᴜᴜ to ᴜᴜɪ�. Luis Diaz finds himself on the same side. One option, Danish winger. There's another winger, Kevin Paredes, who would be very happy to be back for the first time this season on the bench. Olise dancing through! Brilliant! ᴜᴜɪ� with a sumptuous solo goal.
It's for Bayern.
That's a brilliant ball from Kane, and Olise for Diaz! Well, again, does he get the touch or is it an own goal? It doesn't matter, because ᴜᴜɪ� released by Harry Kane. There's Kane, and angled brilliantly. Diaz in. That's an excellent ball, Diaz. Time to give ᴅᴏʟᴜ a little problem. Teasing one, got it out of his feet. Diaz. ᴅᴏ and Guerrero, options. Kane on the other side, Luis Diaz. ᴅᴏ, oh! Early years, as you mentioned before, still world-class, Diaz. Oh, now while you're watching that, it's been chipped in. And Guerrero has punished Wolfsburg, who was standing watching. We didn't look like they'd have 5 at one point. They could have even more. Diaz for Kane, who's surely now fancying one. Oh, yes! That is a moment of magic. He's waited and waited. And then he picks out the top corner. Well, it really is party time now in the Allianz Arena. Diaz. Well, when you do pick your man of the match in around about 10.
Challenge for ᴘᴜɪ� against ᴅᴏ.
Guerrero. Now Diaz. Oh, he's bent that to ᴅᴏ, who finds the corner again. ᴅᴏ. 50 Bundesliga appearances. Diaz. Thinking about how it seemed Bayern missing out on that. I have a feeling Bayern's forward players might dominate. Here's Diaz, who could. Bayern finishing on the front foot. You'd expect nothing less. The goals. Stanisic. Leading 7-1, and just look how many players they've still got in the box. Goretzka trying to turn it goalwards, and it's in. Well, did it get a touch on the line, or is it Leon Goretzka's? He's going to go for it. He's going to claim it. And Bayern with 2 minutes to go. 3 matches, they're back to home comfort. They're huge games, actually, against the bottom 3. St. Pauli and Heidenheim at home, then a visit to Maiden.
Neuer does Manuel Neuer things.
Keeper, if he wants to come out and take a throw, who's to stop him? Here's Luis Diaz into the last minute of stoppage time then. And he pops that one down the line. And Diaz still full of running. Well, what an afternoon and evening it has been at the Allianz Arena.